Hey everybody, it's Never, and welcome to Commuting with Never, the show in which I talk to you while I'm on my way somewhere. And jumping Jehoshaphat on a pogo stick, it is on. So I just got off of the first World of Warcraft panel from Blizzcon. There is a bunch of threads about it on Reddit, and there was also some guy who put up a stream of the stream from Russia, but it was still in English, so I got to see part of it. So hooray for that. And I want to talk about a couple of things that I saw. So you can tell by my tone of voice, I would imagine, that I am optimistic at this point from what I've seen so far, because I made a video a while back that I called The Biggest Problem in World of Warcraft and How to Fix It. And while they didn't take exactly the approach that I suggested, they are taking an approach that is very similar and accomplishes the same thing. And so what I'm talking about, the biggest problem in a nutshell, is the fact that most of the game world becomes useless to you as soon as you level out of it. But in Legion, they're making it so that all the zones in the Broken Isles will scale up to your level, no matter when you go to them. So actually all of the zones except for one of them are starting zones, and leveling zones and finishing zones. And they're even going to seed content around them at max level that gives you loads and loads of stuff to do in all the different zones, and the zones always stay relevant. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and probably the greatest thing I could have hoped for from this expansion. Now, this is the first step of it. The second step is that it will also apply to the heroic dungeons. So you get into those dungeons and you start it out and you do your thing, but then pretty soon dungeons become kind of useless because you can just face roll them. Instead, the new challenge mode is where you decide you're going to bump the level of that dungeon up a little bit to keep up with you. And it will always be relevant, and it will give you rewards that are relevant to the difficulty you do them. So it's an alternate PvE gear progression to raiding. If you can't raid, you can still keep up with gear by doing these challenge mode dungeons that get gradually more difficult in really interesting ways. They talked about how some of the mobs would have different things they do, different debuffs that they apply, or there'd be more of them, or they would do double damage after they get to low health, or there'd be constant slow ticking damage that healers need to keep up with in the entire dungeon. So lots of cool stuff there, but it's the scaling mechanic applying to the entire game world that is so interesting to me, because if my thoughts are in order, then it wouldn't surprise me if the next expansion might expand on this, or maybe even later in a patch they could expand on this idea. And the thing that would make me so happy is if they apply this to the entire game everywhere. If Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Outland, Wrath of the Lich King, Northrend, and even Pandaria and Draenor, if that would scale up to whatever level you're at, and then suddenly all the content there becomes relevant, and there are things to do there that progress you at max level, whatever that level happens to be, it would just be the best thing possible, because there's so much good stuff in this game, and so much of it is useless unless you're actually at the specific narrow range of levels to where it can do anything for you. So I'm really excited by this change. This could be a wonderful, wonderful thing. Not just the fact that you can more easily go around and have things to do, but imagine what they could do with this, enabling you to play with someone who's leveling up. If you can scale content up to you, I wonder if you could scale yourself down to your friend and do sort of a Guild Wars 2 thing where you can go with your buddy and scale down to their level and help them out, kind of time walk to what they're doing. I'm just really happy to see that they're taking scaling to a new place, because it's one of the greatest mechanics in a game that's so social like this. Now, the summer release date, I don't think anyone was happy to hear that. However, I will say a couple of things. Why are they releasing it in summer? It's probably to tie in with the timing of the movie. But it may also be, or it may simply be, so that they make sure they don't screw it up. Because they can't afford to. They can't afford to piss everyone off again. And so it seems to me that it would behoove Blizzard to make sure that they get this game rock solid this time, so that it launches without a hitch and that people have things to do, and there's no more frustrating, content exhaustions that we had in Mists of Pandaria or in Warlords of Draenor. And so I'm kind of hoping that's the reason. Either way, at least, it's not a year from now or some nonsense like that. Summer I can handle. I was thinking it would be late spring or even maybe mid-spring. But if Overwatch is starting then, they'd be kind of competing. They'd be shooting themselves in the foot, eh? Because what do I do in World of Warcraft right now? I'll be honest with you. Here's what I do. I log in, I check my garrison stuff in the morning before I head off to work, and then I come home and I do it again, and then I log off. Because I just don't have a lot of incentive to go do stuff right now. And I'm really looking forward to that changing. I want to do stuff in the game. And right now, I'm at that point to where I'm just gonna kind of coast through until some new things happen. We've got a new patch coming up soon, which will give me some more stuff to do. There's some weekend things here and there that are fun. And I, of course, love to do holidays. But right now, as far as the main content of the game, it's just really not holding anything for me at the time. And it's kind of a shame because it would be cool if there was more stuff going around to do. So anyway, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on some of the new stuff that you've heard or any big things that I missed. I obviously didn't cover everything in this quick little video, but I just wanted to get some opinions out there and let you know that I'm really excited about the scaling thing and a couple of other details. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am, and if you're not, if you think it'll be terrible, let me know why. And I'd love to address some of that if you make some good points. So let's see what tomorrow brings with the more detailed game systems panels with some info on the new PvP stuff and some class changes, and maybe we'll get an answer to my biggest Legion question. My biggest Legion question is, what's going to happen to the artifact weapons after Legion? Specifically for druids, if the artifact weapons grant us new customizable forms, will we lose those if the artifact weapons are no longer relevant in the next expansion? Okay, thanks, bye.